Welcome to OOTO TV, the out-of-the-office investigation into personal health. Today, we discuss circadian sleep cycles' impact on our health. I'm your co-host, Host A, joined by Host B. Today, we are investigating chronobiology, tracking how mitochondrial function dictates our health, and exploring how disrupted biological timing directly leads to severe psychiatric outcomes. How can delayed sleep cycles affect our mental and physical health? What are key elements for sleep cycles' effect on mental and physical health? Understanding and identifying healthy and consistent circadian sleep cycles is critical to our healthy recovery and mental health stability. We often treat our sleep schedule as a lifestyle preference, a matter of feeling rested or tired the next day. But syncing your body to the light-dark cycle is the baseline for consistent cellular maintenance. When you deviate from that clock, you initiate a process of gradual physiological wear. Let's address the concept of the night owl. Many people assume that staying up until 2 a.m. is harmless, provided they still log 8 total hours of sleep. The data completely dismantles that assumption. This UK Biobank data of 70,000 adults reveals a universal penalty. Risk ratios for metabolic and psychiatric disorders spike for all late sleepers, regardless of natural chronotype. Comparing extremes, early birds maintain baseline health, while delayed schedules exhibit significantly higher circulatory and psychiatric issues. Sleep timing operates as a highly aggressive, independent biological stressor. It overrides your personal genetic preferences. The consequences of that stress start within the human microbiome. The trillions of microbes residing in your digestive tract operate on their own strict diurnal rhythm. They expect food and rest at highly specific times. When you shift your sleep schedule on the weekends, a phenomenon known as social jet lag, even a 90-minute delay creates massive confusion in the digestive tract. Your central clock says it is time to rest, but your gut bacteria are forced to remain active. This temporal confusion triggers gut dysbiosis. The microbial balance collapses, altering the structural integrity of your intestinal lining. Look at this visualization of the gut-brain axis. The gut is responsible for producing the vast majority of the body's neurotransmitters, communicating directly with the brain to regulate mood and sleep. Gut dysbiosis disrupts the synthesis of 95% of your body's serotonin. By starving the brain of these mood-regulating chemicals, your internal stability is compromised. The altered gut permeability also allows toxins to slip into the bloodstream. These inflammatory markers travel upward, eventually crossing the blood-brain barrier and introducing systemic inflammation into the neurological system. Delayed circadian sleep cycles can be linked to anxiety, gut dysbiosis, mental illness, psychotic delusion, paranoia, and antisocial personality disorder. You're listening to OOTO TV with research by author Paul Bulow. To trace the origin of that inflammation, we have to look at the cellular level. During the N3 deep sleep window, the body enters a non-negotiable period for cellular repair. During a healthy, aligned sleep cycle, your mitochondria function optimally, converting raw elements into ATP, the primary energy currency of your cells. Circadian misalignment radically increases oxidative stress. Because the normal nighttime clearing process is bypassed, free radicals accumulate within the cell. This schematic shows the body's master antioxidant, glutathione. Under normal conditions, it acts as a protective boundary, buffering mitochondrial DNA from incoming oxidative damage. Continuous late sleep stress depletes the body's glutathione reserves. The shield drops entirely. Without that buffer, free radicals impact the mitochondrial DNA directly. The DNA fractures, and cellular ATP production drops. Skeptical. Does late sleep directly alter DNA, or is this degradation a secondary effect of late-night diet changes and insulin spikes? Specific bioclock gene data proves direct circadian causality. Even when diet and caloric intake are tightly controlled in laboratory settings, researchers observe the same mitochondrial degradation. The misalignment itself breaks the cell. Late sleep acts as a direct metabolic toxin at the mitochondrial level, degrading health independently of other lifestyle habits. When cellular energy and glutathione levels collapse, a blood biomarker called homocysteine spikes to dangerous levels. This dual-axis chart demonstrates exactly how elevated homocysteine is intimately connected to a severe drop in evening insulin sensitivity. Your body loses the ability to process glucose efficiently as the night progresses. As these lines cross into the danger zone, the biochemical failure drives an elevated risk of cardiovascular disease, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. Simultaneously, the hunger hormone ghrelin spikes, while the satiety hormone leptin plummets. The body is forced into a state of metabolic overdrive, demanding high-calorie foods to compensate for the lack of cellular energy. Can delayed, shortened, or too long circadian sleep cycles cause harm to our mental health and critical thinking? Yes. These cascading metabolic and hormonal shifts create a biological environment that significantly increases susceptibility to severe mood disorders. The Stanford Chronotype study, utilizing a sample size of 70,000 adults, helps us map the neurological consequences of this environment. Researchers identified the mind after midnight effect. This visualization shows what happens to brain architecture during the hours your body biologically expects to be unconscious. The frontal cortex undergoes a severe downregulation. It loses its ability to process rational decision-making efficiently. The psychological manifestations include uncontrollable reward-seeking impulsivity, repetitive anxious thought loops, and compromised critical thinking. In women, this cognitive impairment connects with the physical disruption of the hypothalamic-pituitary-ovarian axis. The communication line between the brain and reproductive system degrades, leading to profound hormonal instability. The combination of frontal cortex failure and endocrine disruption facilitates the development of severe mood disorders and antisocial behaviors. Host A and B. You're listening to OOTO-TV with research by author Paul Bulow. Host A. This biochemical chain reaction has 3 pillars. First, delayed sleep misaligns the clock, triggering gut dysbiosis. Host B. Dysbiosis drives oxidative stress. ATP plummets, spiking homocysteine. Third, chronic mitochondrial strain facilitates the breakdown of frontal cortex regulation. Inconsistent circadian sleep cycles disrupts our healthy environment for cellular growth, mental and physical success. Routine sleep theory suggests our body's health is connected to our thoughts, energy, and clarity of alignment of actions, words, and dreams. To reverse this process, we apply specific recovery protocols. The absolute first step is immediate morning sunlight exposure to reset your brain's master clock. Eliminate social jet lag by waking up at the same time 7 days a week. This is required to restabilize the rhythms of your gut microbiome. Implement the 10-3-2-1 protocol timeline. Cut caffeine 10 hours before bed, stop heavy meals 3 hours out, stop working 2 hours out, and eliminate screens 1 hour prior. This is your primary behavioral defense against mitochondrial degradation. High-level physiological and psychological actualization is mathematically impossible unless you are strictly aligned with your biological clock. Prioritize your timing, and your biology will follow.